How's it going, everybody? John Polson here. Today is Monday, June 29th, 2020, and we are on a beautiful day. I'm actually outdoors. I've set up my office outside today. That's one of the beautiful things about doing real estate is you can kind of do things wherever you want to. So today I want to talk about some things. I am constantly being asked questions about real estate and real estate markets and what's going on with real estate and what's going on in the real estate market. Sometimes I think some people are just worried about me maybe, or they're worried about themselves. Everybody's got an interest in real estate, one way or another. You live in a home, you rent a home, you're living with somebody else. You have an interest in what happens with that real estate. It's something that it affects everybody in one form or another. Sometimes it may affect you as an investor. It may affect you as somebody that has a mortgage. It may affect you as a landlord. It's going to affect you as somebody that's renting, or if you're just sharing a room with somebody, or if you're living with your parents for some reason. Okay, but everybody has an interest and some kind of curiosity about real estate. So I'm constantly getting asked the question. So I'm going to start sharing more information with you today. It's episode 1 of Let's Talk Real Estate. And today we are sharing 7 reasons to own a home rather than rent. And so before we even get started, hit the subscribe button, like the page, follow me to learn more information. I will be sharing lots of valuable information over time here. So this is just episode 1. There's going to be a lot of great information. This is just a quick little cursory overview of some reasons to own rather than rent. And the number 1 reason, let's take a look at this, is under all is the land. Well, what does that mean? Really, there's nothing else that offers the true benefits that real estate does when it comes to ownership. That's why it's called real estate. You are buying something that is real. It can't be moved. It can't be relocated and taken away. Unlike a car, some jewelry, and other valuable assets or things that you might own, they can be removed. They can be taken from one jurisdiction to another. That is why your county governments, the state governments, every government entity recognizes the value of real estate. That's why real estate is such an important thing for so many governments and people and investors. It is taxed completely differently than anything else. It is not movable. You can't just pick it up and take it somewhere else. The county recognized that value as that reason for why your property taxes pay for the services that you get, whether it's the schools. The public education is one of the biggest expenditures in the local governments, and then you got the police force and fire departments, and maybe you got water and sewer systems, all kinds of other benefits. You got your parklands and things like that. You have different things in your community that your community provides. Another great thing about that real estate is that it generally doesn't degrade or diminish when it's maintained properly. So it is a non-depreciable asset. It is one of the few things that you can own that does not depreciate with time. You buy a new car at the car dealership, guess what? You drive it off the lot and you've just lost a significant portion of what you just paid for that car. That doesn't happen with real estate. Sometimes you buy a piece of property and it'll go up significantly in value in a short period of time. That is unusual. That is called speculating. We don't necessarily sponsor that, but there are ways to get involved in real estate investing where you can benefit from that kind of thing. Aside from certain economic forces, the value increases with time with the proper inputs. And that is why owning real estate is something that is really powerful towards people meeting their own goals and objectives. Whether you're a real estate investor looking at it as a real estate investment, or somebody that's just renting now considering ownership. Number 2, control. You control it. You decide what you do with that piece of property. When you buy a piece of real estate, you're actually buying what's called a bundle of rights that are associated with that property. You have the opportunity to make improvements to that property. You want to fix something that's in the house, or change the cabinets, or change the appearance of that house. You have the opportunity to do that. There's so many possibilities. Once you own something, you begin to be able to put your own expression of yourself into that property. You can use it. You can have pets. You don't need permission to have pets, generally. You don't have a landlord approval. There's no pet fee if you own your own property. You can, within certain limitations, have whatever kind of pets you want, and you're not going to pay a penalty for that. But you can't do that when you're renting a property. You have somebody else that controls that. You are limited by zoning ordinances, which dictates, for instance, that you're going to have businesses not allowed no commercial or industrial in a residential subdivision or a residential neighborhood. And that doesn't necessarily mean subdivision, could be part of town, you know, those kind of things. That's to maintain consistency. And it also maintains certain property values. Because remember, your government wants to protect your property values. Your local government is putting these rules in these zoning and planning committees. If you ever want to know what's going on in the community, go to one of your zoning and planning committee meetings at your local government. All kinds of stuff that you'll learn with that. Then you've got HOA limitations, which are a separate topic, and we'll talk about that in a different video. But HOA, the homeowners association, generally they're there to protect your property values and maintain certain community standards. Non-HOA communities have limitations, but you have the option to own something that's not in a homeowners association. Some people want to own something that's in a homeowners association that protects those consistency of the type of homes and the consistency of how people maintain their yards and type of fences that they have and the way they keep their driveways and all that kind of stuff. Without a homeowners association, some people don't want that. Some people want the freedom. That's why people take, want to live in the country. They want to have a rural property. I'm a rural property specialist. So I work with a lot of people that want to live out here in the country. I live in the country and I want the benefits of that. But there's a lot of variations that you'll find in these non-HOA communities. It means little or no consistency in the home styles potentially. The lifestyles among your neighbors is going to be very different. That's fine. To each his own, you might say. So some people want that. Some people want that consistency. You'll get to decide. So number 3, improvements. Make it yours. And we talked a little bit about that in the second slide, but do you like red walls and pink carpet? It's for you. It's not for anyone else. You get to make those improvements. Not just control it, but you get to make those improvements. If you're looking to market your home for sale anytime soon, and I wouldn't necessarily go in with some of those, extreme kind of colors and things, but if that's your choice and you like, and that's what you like, go for it. There's no one that's going to tell you that you can't make your own improvements to your house. You can't fix up your kitchen. You can't fix up your bathroom. No one's going to put that limitation on you. So another benefit number 4, you get more for the money. You get that lifestyle that brings you more for that money. If the rents in your area are doing what they're doing in my area, then you'll find that you're only going to get a certain amount of home for whatever rent that you pay. So typically, I would say in my area, for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home, you're going to be paying $900 to $1,000 a month if you're lucky to find a 2-bedroom, 2-bath home for under $1,000 a month. To get into some of the nicer 2-bedroom, 1-bath, maybe 2-bedroom, 2-bath, you could be looking at $1,100 to $1,300 a month. 3 bedrooms might put you into $1,400 to $1,500 a month for rent. Well, compare that to a mortgage payment. You may end up being able to buy a $250,000 home or more with a lower mortgage payment, particularly when interest rates are as low as they are now. Talk to your mortgage professional. I can help you with that. But when you make the comparison between what you're paying for a mortgage versus what you're paying for rent, you can get a lot more for your home for your money in many cases. So that payment amount is significantly different, and you may often find that you'll get a great benefit when you're buying rather than renting. And you're essentially paying yourself, putting money in the bank for yourself, not for your landlord, which ties right into benefit number 5. You get to keep what you pay for. So do you want a little house? Do you want a big house? What do you want to have? With owning, you're paying for something that you own and control, not what someone else will own and control. When you rent, you pay someone else so that you have the right to use that property. But there's limitations, as we've already talked about. But for them to get and enjoy the financial benefits of your paying rent to them for the use of their property, including paying their mortgage and building their equity for them. Rent is the financial benefit that the landlord receives for ownership of that property. You, the tenants, are paying for that. When it's yours, you get to keep those payments that you're making to the bank. You're essentially paying that to yourself. The equity that you build is yours, and you get to keep or do with it as you see fit. Be responsible with it, and it can grow with time. On the flip side, if you're irresponsible with it, then trouble can ensue. We saw that in 2007, 2008, the real estate debacle that took place as the result of all those mortgage conditions that were, where people were able to get loans that they just did not qualify for. Those conditions were abhorrent in the real estate market, and it caused a massive destruction. That is not what we're seeing today, by the way, folks. Just wanted to make this clear. What happened in 2007, 2008 is not even close to what's happening right now. You would be surprised to learn how much different it is if you really pay attention to what's going on in the real estate world. And I've done separate videos on that as well. What's happening today is we have a very stable balance, actually. We have a very stable balance. So what I want to kind of make the point of is sometimes bad things happen to good people, but with proper planning and strategy, there are benefits to home ownership in bad times as well as in good times. So benefit number 6, mortgage interest deduction. So this is kind of interesting, a little bit of history. So the mortgage interest deduction was actually implemented in 1913. A lot of people don't know that. In 1986, in a tax reform, basically all the other interest deductions were removed from the tax codes. You used to be able to deduct your credit card interest. Well, you can't do that after 1986. But the mortgage interest deduction, MID, mortgage interest deduction, remained as one of the few payments that most income earners could claim as the deduction from your taxes. Basically, that makes a significant advantage for being a homeowner for many people, and especially having mortgage. So now interest rates are so low now, but you're still your first number of years in your mortgage, the interest that you're paying is a significant portion of that total payment that you're making. Real estate investors know the massive tax benefits of real estate ownership. Homeowners get this one benefit, and it is a significant benefit for most people. Buying a home and having a mortgage, you can deduct that interest on your monthly payment and reduce your tax obligation. And it reduces the actual cost of home ownership overall. And that is a significant factor to consider. So number 7, tax-free income when you sell. So notice this is not the first benefit. This is the last one in my list. But for your primary residence and the potential for tax-free income when you sell, which means that you've gained equity over time, when you've lived there for 2 years, okay, that's at least 2 years out of the last 5. You need to be living there for 2 years out of the last 5. You can have a $250,000 net gain for an individual, and up to $500,000 net gain for a couple. That means if you bought your home for $250,000 and you're married and you're 30 years later and your home is now worth $750,000, if it is, great, that's good for you. Not impossible for that to happen. You sell that home and you get the entire benefit tax-free. There's no other investment in the world that will let you do that tax-free for the regular average Joe that is out there, earning an average wage. So again, this is the last in my slides. It is not the least, but it is not the first, because this is a long-term benefit of home ownership, not necessarily a short-term benefit. So short-term benefit would be, assuming that everything would double in value in a certain period of time, and we know that there are opportunities to increase value in real estate. That's something that investors are really good at. It's something that people that are very savvy know how to do. But in terms of speculating, we generally don't look to real estate values in a typical home to necessarily generate be your income producer with this benefit, but it is certainly a benefit of home ownership. So to learn more about buying a home, click the link below, the Learn More button, message me today. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. You can certainly send me an email. My email address is up here, jpolson@midatlanticresidential.com. Give me a call, 757-707-4664, or you can visit my website at johnpolson.com. Look for episode 2 to be coming up fairly soon. Should be next week. We will be doing some regular updates with some regular information to bring value to you and answer questions about real estate. So that is Let's Talk Real Estate episode 1. Have a good afternoon, everybody. Talk to you soon.